Swallowing hard, I pulled open one of the glass entrance doors and stepped into the bright pink and yellow lobby. Staying near the door, I turned to the left, then the right. Still empty, not a person in sight. I coughed. My cough sounded tiny in the huge lobby. My sneakers squeaked over the marble floor as I started to the elevators on the far wall. Where is everyone? I asked myself. It's the middle of the afternoon. How can I be the only one in this huge lobby? I stopped in front of the elevators. I raised my finger to the elevator button, but I didn't push it. I wish Libby had come along, I decided. If Libby were here, at least I'd have someone to be terrified with. I pushed the elevator button. Well, here it goes. I murmured, waiting for the door to open. And then someone laughed, a cold, evil laugh, right behind me.
You can't scare me, not with the basement of balcony. Maybe a sentient dummy, calling all creep.
Boo-dudes! Welcome to Calling All Crepes. It's a podcast where we swallow hard. I'm Matt. I'm here, as always, with my co-host Dave.
Swallowing.
We're swallowing hard. Dave, you're looking like a cute little Steinhead today.
I am.
Say it back.
I'm a cute little Steinhead.
Say it about me.
You also look that way.
Thank
At first
you.
I looked at you and I was like, this guy spits. But then the more I looked into you, you were swallowing hard.
I swallowed hard.
Hard, yeah.
Dave, we're sharing a mic today.
We are.
Yeah.
Let's get close and personal.
Yeah, we could do our famous Aerosmith duet.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to miss your thing.
I miss you.
Dave, we
Bruce
should introduce our guest. He's a cool guy. He's got a beard and a hat. His name is Nick Sardone. Nick, thanks for being with us.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Big fan
Oh, thanks for saying that. You're
of
a sweetheart.
Goosebumps and the podcast.
I was so expecting you to say, like, not of your podcast.
Just Goosebumps.
Just Goosebumps. I don't know why I'm here.
Never heard of you guys.
Yeah. Big fan of the books medium.
Yeah. You ever read a book, nerd? So, Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself specifically. We like to get to know people through their history with Goosebumps. So, do you have a history with Goosebumps?
I do. I probably own, 30-something Goosebumps books.
That's legit.
Yeah.
That's at least half.
Yeah. They're somewhere in my parents' house somewhere.
Yeah. Yep. As with all of us.
I didn't own this book, though.
No.
I did not own this book.
Right. And you're, if we talked about this before the show, you're going to get that book tomorrow, right?
Yeah, just in time.
Yeah, just in time for today.
Yes, I read this book on PDF on a laptop.
Yeah.
What a world we live in.
Oh my God.
RLS, could you believe it?
Yeah.
Straight from
I
the
know he's
internet.
listening.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. He knows our podcast exists and knows the name. If he chose to listen,
Yeah, he does. He could not give less of a shit, for
Definitely
sure.
not.
But to be fair, he doesn't really give a shit about anything.
if we were making money, he might care. Because he'd be like, "Where's my
he'd
cut?"
want some
then
of it.
he'd-
Yeah.
Cut.
The lawyers would be knocking.
Yeah. Fortunately, this costs us money.
It does. So we're in the
So
clear.
we're smart at business and finance.
Yeah. We
So
should make a business.
We
We
should-
should write
yeah.
off all these beers. Remember all that candy we ate last time?
oh my God.
Could write that off on our taxes.
That's true. That was at least $14.
Belt tax.
Yeah. God, those belts.
You finish them or you just throw them out?
I just throw them out. Yeah.
I figured.
I still have the gummy bears, though.
They're very good. You ever have those gummy bears that have a little, like, what's on them? Like a B?
A.
Oh, an A.
Figure
No.
out letters,
There's
Dave.
specific gummy bears that have an A on their chest.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah, it's
They're the
because they're...
Adultery.
It's
That's why. They're full of juice from
That's
all
right.
the
See, I've read
fucking
books.
they do.
Yeah,
I've read books.
Because if you combine them with 2 Skittles, it's ass.
Yeah. Wasn't there a movie with a old married Emma Watson?
Yes,
Heard of
Easy
her.
A.
Easy A.
Oh, no, Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
Yeah, we got there. We got there.
I just knew what you. Yeah.
We got there. Welcome to IMDb, a podcast. Actresses and
A
actors.
podcast about submitting a bad synopsis to the internet.
Calling all Emmas.
Bring me all your Emmas with British accents.
2 episodes.
Yeah.
And done.
Nick, do you like comic books?
Yes, I do.
You heard of them?
Yeah. I've read some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Also in my parents' house. Zap Comics was a big part of my life growing up. I knew Dave before that, but then, rekindled our romance at the comic book store.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
It worked out because I think you stopped reading new books pretty soon, like current comic books.
Yeah, that was too much.
Yeah, but any time we got in like Vampire by Night, what am I saying? Werewolf by Night.
Yeah.
Any horror books, all the 80s horror, like the Nightmare on Elm Street, magazine size, like any horror book, pretty much. That was like, we were like, we should let Nick know that these came in.
Yes. Yeah. And I was messaging Corey.
That piece of shit.
Put that aside for me.
Corey was like, wicked good times.
Yes.
He writes that a lot on Facebook for the listeners. Corey owns that comic book shop. We should provide some context.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zap Comics in Wayne and Manalapan.
That's
Stop
right.
on by.
That's right.
A place that has now been going strong for 26 years.
Wow, really?
And I've worked at for almost 8 now.
Wow.
But I've been going to for probably...
like almost your whole life, right?
Almost. I think I've been going there since like 90... maybe like 4, 95.
Yeah.
So
You ever did they ever sell Goosebumps books,
No.
do you think?
No.
I mean, when the comic market died, which is going to be an interesting talk with this book, when the comic market died, they stayed alive using with Beanie Babies, toys, and Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Beanie Babies and Pokemon in the late 90s, it was like wild.
But like that's when there's a lot of comic shops popping up now because the market's great. But in like the late 90s, early 2000s, comic shops it was like a blight. Everyone died because of the exact reason why our main character collected comic books in this book.
That's an excellent segue.
Ruined it. So anyway, we are reading Attack of the Mutant, which is book number 25.
We sure are. Nick, did you finish your Goosebumps story? So you liked Goosebumps?
Yeah, liked Goosebumps. I remember I used to read Goosebumps like on my recess.
Really?
On the wall at Packanack Elementary School.
Jesus.
Fucking nerd. Also,
I should have been fucking, but I was reading.
Yeah, kids at that age are fucking.
Yeah, everyone was fucking around me. I was reading a book on the wall.
They were fucking on you.
The center of a child orgy.
Yeah.
Use me.
It's so funny that just before this, Dave and I were talking about how our moms like could listen to this podcast, and like now we're on child orgies, and I'm just so glad that they.
You know what's
don't.
even crazier?
Well, they're teachers. They know about them.
Yeah, but my mom's a teacher at that school.
So she should know firsthand. She knows what a fuck machine Nick is.
No, she came in way after.
Yeah, after.
We were. Yeah.
She knew my dad though, because my dad started subbing like right when I left elementary school. He fake retired. I just did quotes on
Thank
audio.
you for relaying
Yeah,
that.
our parents are friends.
Yeah, they know
Through
each other.
The school
Yeah.
district.
That's
Yes.
like, it's such a good move to retire, semi-retire, and then sub or like teach a class or something. It's like, because you still stay. That's
did
my
that
dream
for, like,
is to like
10+ years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
To have enough money and to like to get by, and then like on top of that, you could like teach a class at a college or something.
But also, if you're a known person, like your dad was like the sub.
Yeah.
So like
People liked him.
anytime somebody was missing, they'd be like, "Oh, reach out to him."
Yeah,
like,
that's a good.
And of course, the
it's
laws
like,
and things have changed of who can be a sub and when, and it's up on a website and stuff. But like back then, it would just be like these are the people that like.
Yeah, he would get a call from a teacher like.
Yeah. And it's like
they wanted him, and he could decide. You know, he made his own schedule.
That's the thing. You
He's
can
like, I don't want that
phone
class.
call.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we want to discuss. So
Substitute teaching is a
Attack
huge
of the
pain in the
Mutants.
ass.
Attack of the Substitute.
Book 25 came out in November 1994, which was 15 years ago.
Hey,
now, this
Dave,
month.
Nick,
Yeah.
happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving.
Excellent.
Is this
Yeah.
coming out around Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Oh, actually, yeah, it
I
will.
hope
yeah,
so.
it will.
That would
I
make
was
sense.
also just saying because it says November.
It does.
But yeah, this is coming out around
This
Thanksgiving.
is.
That's probably more prescient than that.
So not really exciting. The song is still "I'll Make Love to You" by Boys to Men.
Oh,
People forgot how to fuck in the 90s, and then that song came out, and
Yeah.
they're like,
And
let's
they-
just
they
stay in
relearned.
this
yeah.
space.
What do you call kids now who are born because of that song? Like boys to men, boomers to men, babies from boys.
Yeah.
What else?
Babies from fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I made love to you like you wanted me to.
And-
Very good.
And now you exist.
That's right. Wait. Sperm to egg. Sac to through the vagina.
Yeah.
Cord to cut.
Cord to cut.
Wow.
That's my favorite metal
Yeah,
band.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this is what
sweating.
happened that month. Is it hot in here?
I think is it the heat? Turn off the
You're
heater?
sitting behind the heater. You have to turn it.
Which way?
To the right, I believe.
Am I right?
This, yeah. No, wrong way.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
yeah,
Oh,
there
God.
we go.
Oh God.
My apartment is basically some sort of old-time factory.
My God. It's like a
so-
petri dish of cum in here.
November 1st, the Chicago Bulls retired basketball superstar Michael Jordan, Shoe Kings jersey number 23 in a 2-hour ceremony.
Never heard of him.
Oh. Hanes commercials.
Oh yeah, that guy
Uh-huh.
with the Hitler mustache, right?
Yes,
the guy with
that's
the Hitler
right.
mustache.
Uh-huh. Big loop earring. Still like rocking just one. It's like giant. Has a bead on it.
I swear to God, if the neck on his Hanes shirt is not laying flat, he's gonna be fucking losing.
Yeah.
You ever see his like he had like a Hall of Fame like inductee speech?
Yeah, he
talked
just
for, like,
he just
half an
loved
hour.
himself, right?
He loved
that was
himself.
the whole thing.
He was like praising others in like a negative way.
Yeah.
It was
Wait,
like
was it the Hall of Fame or was it his number retiring?
It was something.
I don't know.
It may have been
2011, I think it was.
This was 19.
Yeah, it was a little more
All right.
recent, but it was like he was like, everybody here, I picked you because you motivated me to do better because you like were fucking idiots. Like it was.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the best,
yeah.
and you helped me because
Realize that
You
I'm
were
the best.
worse than I am.
Yeah,
All of you were steps that I stomped
exactly.
on.
It's
That's what it was.
incredible, and the audience doesn't know how to react, so they just like nervously laugh.
And then silence, and he goes, I was in Space Jam. And everyone's like, yeah!
up,
Okay,
Doc?
November 28th in Portage, Wisconsin, hungriest man in the world, Jeffrey Dahmer, is clubbed to death by an inmate in the Columbia Correctional Institution gymnasium.
I was there.
You were the clubber.
I was the club.
God damn. Oh, you were the instrument.
They picked you up. Well, you were a child.
Oh my God.
You were 6.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right now.
Yeah.
It's okay. They used you for justice.
Yeah. You have good bones.
I'm a hero.
Yeah.
I always feel bad saying that Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm like, yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer's my favorite serial killer.
I mean, whatever. You can pick one.
Yeah,
It's
I
America.
guess. Yeah, it is America. So this one really bothered me
Dahmer?
a lot. Because November 27th, in New Zealand, a sheep held the world record for biggest shorn fleece. And it was born in Bendigo Station, Otago. And it died in 2011. That sheep's name was Shrek.
Wow.
Really?
So
But-
he predates Shrek.
But I'm wondering...
Wait, when did this happen?
1994. November 1994.
So he's the original
He was
Shrek.
shorn then and broke the record.
And he's the
Shrek.
original Shrek.
He's the original Shrek.
What is Shrek? Then Shrek is a word before Shrek. So what does Shrek mean?
Maybe Shrek is just a reference to a real good sheep.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow. I hope his the sheep
His
is now
family.
passed, but I hope
His
his
family
family
are
is
getting
getting
paid.
royalty. Yeah.
I mean, I just figure after 2011, hearing that name is just too hard.
It's too hard. Oh, donkey.
Too hard. It's never too hard.
Also, November 30th, Nigel Houston, American skateboarder, soon to be Olympic gold champion.
Gold champion.
Of gold. Well, he'll be gold. He'll win. He's a skateboarder guy. I just remember watching him in like middle school because his skateboard was as tall as he was.
He was a little kid with dreadlocks, like down to his
like
butthole.
butthole.
That's cool.
They went
Now-
in his butt. That was his style.
Yeah.
Into his butthole.
He kept farting him out. It was a real problem.
It's how he... It was for acceleration.
Yeah. Right.
No, but if you look up old Nigel Houston, he was literally the size of his skateboard.
Can you
Hitting
get
rails
Do you
and shit.
skateboard, Nick?
A little bit.
Can you kickflip?
Yes.
Yes, he can. He can skateboard.
Oh.
Witnessed it
Oh,
as a
you're
kid.
being modest.
No, he can skateboard.
He's a skateboarder.
He was a skateboarder.
I can tell.
He did.
I have skateboarded. It's on and off. Like when you get older, you stop doing things that you like.
When you get older, you near
die.
death, and
Yeah.
things you love, you stop showing interest in, and
Yeah.
it's called depression.
You know me, I'm a skateboarder because I use my skateboard to get to Walgreens, and
The
then I
Greens.
bring my stuff back on the skateboard.
That
You get
counts.
the A
That
gummy
counts.
bears.
If I do a 180, it is a trick multiplier for all the things I buy.
Can you do a kickflip, Dave?
I think at one point, I've done twice in my life.
That's good. I've
In
never
my
done.
life, though.
I mean,
And when I did them, it was probably like once in middle school and once in high school, and that was it ever.
that's cool.
No, it's
That's cool.
it really is.
You're the coolest.
I'd like to do one before I'm 40. So I have 8 years.
Is this gonna
That's
happen?
enough-
Are we
that's
gonna
enough
do
time.
this?
Can we do it
Today?
together?
Yeah, we're gonna do this. All
We're
right.
shaking hands for
Shake
the
hands. We're gonna do
team.
kick flips.
Nick, you're out of this bet because you're a good skateboarder.
You can teach us. All right.
Yeah, you should teach us.
So there's a couple other things about this time, and we talked about it originally, and we talked with producer Chib. She's like, get into like the 90s shit. So Christmas time's coming.
Oh, that's right.
And
you know
this
what?
is-
Bad feedback. Let's move on to the plot.
no, but this is really interesting. Actually, there's
Okay,
something cool.
okay.
So
Fuck the
November
90s.
is it's well known for we get the toy catalogs. That's when Toys R Us was sending stuff out.
Oh, yeah.
All the companies like these are the toys that you need to pick up. Christmas is happening. So the biggest issue, they said that Saban, who was the company Bandai,
Power Rangers.
owned Power Rangers. So they were saying that like, what is the biggest issue? What was their enemy for the Christmas season? It wasn't any other toy brand. It wasn't distribution.
It was Goldar.
The Jews.
Rita They just wanted, they're like, Power Rangers for Hanukkah.
That's right.
That's why they wanted 8 different Rangers. One for every night. One for every kid. No, but actually it turned out it was the Mafia.
Oh.
So in November of 1994, $10 million in counterfeit Power Rangers merchandise was seized. And they said that was the tip of the iceberg of bootleg Power Rangers stuff that was going through the U.S., created by the Mafia to be sold for Christmas.
That's an insane fact.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
It seems like a
No
crazy
one knows
amount
that.
of work. Yeah.
All right, and then also there's this book. So this book, Attack the Mutant, was adapted into a first-person video game by DreamWorks Interactive, which was released on PC in May of 1997.
I'm going to guess it sucks shit.
Probably sucks shit.
DreamWorks is like the bad Pixar, right? So he's like...
Well, they did make Shrek.
Right.
Whoa.
You have
Full
one,
circle.
You have one good one, and then
Right.
you're gone.
Well, they have 3 good ones.
On top of that, we just watched the TV episode and also sucked.
That felt
Shit.
so fucking long.
Yeah.
But the only good part of it was Adam West's as the Galloping Gazelle.
He was refreshing.
For those 2 minutes he was in
Yeah,
there.
I guess that was worth it.
Yeah, even his phone-in performance was better than any of the
Yeah.
performances.
Also, this is something that blew my mind. R.L. Stine claims that this is the best surprise ending of all of his books.
Okay. I mean, sure. It's like there are worse endings that we've read.
Yeah, but this just kind of burst my bubble of like, if this is his best, we have like, what, we're at 25?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
62 books. We have so much
I would
more
safely
shit.
say it's downhill from here.
Yeah, so this is the last episode, guys.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, boo dudes.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
You ruined it.
Say goodbye to Nick, everybody.
So one thing that I was actually talking to Nick about and I decided to research is I didn't have this book, but I had the audio tape.
Yeah, I didn't know those existed.
It was a cassette tape. They only did a few of them. So the audiobook came out in November of 1996, which was, of course, 2 years later. And it was narrated by Richard Horvitz. And I was like, whatever. Yeah, you're like, yeah, Richard Horvitz. But he's the voice of Daggett the Beaver.
Whoa.
Billy from Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Invader Zim. And Alpha 5 from Power Rangers.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And there are also voices that are done by Townsend Coleman, who was the Tick. Michelangelo from the 90s Ninja Turtles. He was Waldo from Where's Waldo? And apparently there was a show called Pro Star where he was the voice of Wayne Gretzky.
Wow.
They were like, Wayne Gretzky, he was just like, you want to be in this and play yourself? He's like, just fucking get...
Yeah, whoever.
Just
Get Richard,
some-
whatever.
Get...
He's my first choice.
His name's
Yeah.
Townsend. We want him. But yeah, so that's what we got.
That's a cool fact.
That, and then I also, this book, of course, just does a lot of references to comic books, and he does like weird parodies. So I listed them as they went on. I don't know if you guys did. So I'm gonna give.
Yeah.
Actually, Nick, you're a comic book guy. I'm gonna go through these, and you say what you think the reference was.
Oh, I'm put on the spot.
Yeah. Silver Swan.
Silver Surfer?
All right. Star Wolf.
I don't know. Star Lord?
Could be. Z Squad.
Suicide Squad?
I was thinking that or X-Men.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
High School Harry
letter.
and Beanhead.
Yeah, was that like Jughead and
Yeah, Archie and Jughead.
Archie.
This one, I just have a question mark. Because he's like, yeah, people really like that comic book, Penguin People.
Yeah. I remember seeing that and I was like, what? There was a few things I didn't know what was going on.
And then, of course, he discusses Captain America, drawn by Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
And Spawn.
Todd McFarlane was in there.
McFarlane.
A name drop.
And then also the person who created this comic was named Jimmy Steranko.
Yeah.
Which is just a play on Jim Steranko.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If I was Jim Steranko and I read this book, I would sue them.
Yeah. It's a little close, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that fucking plot.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a guy. His name is unbelievably Skipper. Now his real name is like James or something. What's his name?
I don't know.
Bradley?
Bradley?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's introduced as Skipper. Here's the other thing, guys. He has a sister named Mitski?
Yes.
An
Yeah,
artist
Mitzi.
I love?
The artist.
Mitzi.
The recording artist.
Yeah. Mitzi. What the fuck is going on there? Are your cats knocking?
Yeah.
They are. My cats are knocking. It's just like, okay, you guys.
All right.
So much editing.
I'm going to blow through this plot in
Sing some Mitski.
a minute. Okay.
So anyway,
You're not another girl, how others had me. Just about to rape.
so Scamper and Banksy are hanging out.
That's right. Fuck the pigs on Wall Street painting a $100 bill on fire.
Yeah.
Banksy. Tom Hanksy. Right? That's a
I like
thing.
Hanksy.
Yep. Anyway,
All right.
there's Skipper, first of all. Guess how he got his nickname, guys?
What was it? Something stupid. He ran around when as a kid.
He skipped.
He skipped.
Yep.
He liked to get places fast, so
Yeah.
he skipped instead of walking.
That's right. We all know how much time it saves.
That's one of those things, like skipping. Have you ever skipped in your life?
I mean, I have.
Like just
to do it once in
be
the
a jerk?
driveway.
Yeah,
when
like
I was
'cause I've
9.
never. Yeah, skipping wasn't a thing that I did.
No.
Yeah, but that's
Or-
why we're not all Usain Bolt. Because he skipped his
a
way
lot.
to the
He skipped a lot.
to
That's
the Olympics.
right. That's right. He
He
did.
skipped really fast.
Oh my God, that guy. He was a mutant. Am I right?
Yeah.
Attack of the Bolt.
Yeah.
Usain Bolt.
Anyway, that's the end of the
I already
episode.
hate this plot. Like, just having to go into this plot right now has upset me.
Yeah, we have to think about it again.
It sucks. It's basically like he takes the bus to the comic book shop, sees a building, then it's not there. Then the building's back. Then he goes inside. Then there's a fucking mutant in there. Then he's a comic the whole time. And that's the whole book. Right? Like,
Right.
what else could there be? There's a little nuance, but not really.
Basically, he's a kid, and he's the epitome of 90s comic collecting.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has a friend who's better than him in every way, including genetically.
Yes.
And he collects stamps, and he's really funny.
Taller, blonder.
Better.
Yeah.
You
Aryan.
guys sound like somebody I know from history.
Hold on, I'm checking the latest tweets from Richard Spencer, who I've put on my favorites list.
So basically, this is a kid who's hanging out with his buddy Wilson. And Wilson's just like, oh, you got some comic books? Can I read them? And he's like, what are you, fucking stupid?
Yeah.
Your skin creates oil, and you'll fuck them up. He's like,
right.
so you don't read any of them? And he's like, no, you just look at the covers and you sell them later.
You know who's also friends with someone named Wilson?
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanksy.
Yes. Tom Hanks, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the volleyball, for sure. He fucks that volleyball.
Yeah, I think so. Into the little needle hole.
Yeah, it fits perfectly.
Director's cut.
Robert Zemeckis is like, this is where he fucks
That
the
was him. He
volleyball.
directed that?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I think so. I've made that up, but I think it is.
You might be right.
There's a very interesting scene with that hockey, that ice skate.
That's right.
That'll
He
lie.
uses it to cut his own dick off, and then he puts it in the small inflate hole, and then he throws it out to sea.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Dr. House
Well,
Okay.
Really?
has a friend named Wilson.
I thought you were gonna go Tim Allen.
No,
'Cause
I've
you're
never
like-
heard of Tim Allen.
That's That's just the noise I make when I'm confused.
That's the noise I make when I'm selling out all my drug dealers to make a plea to not do 10 years in prison.
So Skipper has to go to
Anyway,
the
Dave, you were
orthodontist.
saying how much you like Richard Spencer.
So his dad hates comics, and he needs to go to the orthodontist, but he starts chatting up a lady.
Yeah. Her name is Fran.
Her name is Lippy.
Lippy. She's a redhead.
Fran Dresser.
Fran Drescher. A babe by all
The
accounts.
nanny.
We can't keep changing the plot because people will think this book is good.
Yeah, we're making it decent.
Rest assured it's bad.
Believe us.
Yeah.
So he loves the Masked Mutant, and he got a new issue that shows his house, which we know what it looks like because we have the cover of this book,
Yes.
which is an okay cover.
It's fine.
We got Masked Magician with all of his muscles. He's diving forward.
He is
he's,
jacked.
he tripped.
His house looks like the ultimate fucking vibrator.
For sure.
And it's got that little extension for the clitoris.
That's right.
And the butthole.
Right there.
And the butthole, too.
Yep. Look, he's wearing a Stone Cold Steve Austin leg brace. He's coming to stunner your ass.
And he's also, like, no one runs like that, but
Yeah, he's falling.
Yeah.
he tripped.
He has, like, jowls. Or, like, these are, like, mandibles. What are these?
Yeah, mandibles.
I think mandibles, yeah. And also the flavor text on this book is terrible. It just says, he's no superhero. He's a super villain.
Yeah, what's that about?
Which is just like...
Because he is like
fact.
No
Yeah.
one was confused that he was a hero.
It's like, hey, should this be clever? Like, no.
no, just say
It should say, like, don't put this tower in your butt.
Or do?
Yeah.
Also, 4 periods here on the back.
Keep that in mind.
Yep.
Skipper Matthews.
Skipper Matthews. Bad name. Anyway, he's on the bus. He goes to...
He's so horny that he misses his stop.
That's right.
Because he's chatting it up with some girl and just kind of being like a gatekeeper nerd.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, reading comics. Do you like comics? She's like, I do. I actually like these. And he's like, fuck you. Those aren't the good kind.
yeah,
He's a real gentleman.
right away. That he's just like fuck you.
Right off the bat, yeah. He's like,
Nice
get
to meet
the
you.
fuck away
Nice
from
to meet you. You hate. Yeah, you like things that suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we've all met those people.
Sure.
Yeah.
Destroy what brings you joy is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All named Skipper.
They're all named Skipper. That's actually true.
What a trend.
Do you think that R.L. Stein just watched a lot of Simpsons featuring Comic Shop Guy?
Yes,
Because
probably.
that's what I thought. Because Skipper is fat.
Yep.
He sucks.
Comics.
He's a virgin.
He is.
He's 12,
Yeah.
so that's fine.
I hope he
It
is.
doesn't. I hope. Yeah.
Unless he went to fucking Pack and Ack fuck
yeah.
school.
He was fucking on me while I was reading.
Yeah.
So yeah, he goes there and he ends up seeing the mutant's lair. And the next day at school, he hangs out with his buddy Wilson. You know, that Aryan god.
That's right. Slash volleyball.
Which, by the way, he was like, he collects stamps.
yeah,
Yeah.
not postage stamps.
No, which is the thing
rubber
people do.
pressing stamps.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, I mean, is this an important part of the plot? No.
No, he isn't either.
No,
No.
but we're bringing it up because this is the saving grace. of this
It's the
book.
best
we,
part of the
we
book,
liked him
frankly.
for the whole 3 pages.
Yeah.
He ruled.
Yeah. He was always like, he was like, do you want to see my stamp collection? And when he finally roped Skipper into doing it, he was like, here, check out this stamp. And Skipper was like, what's that? He's like, I don't know.
It's real. It's like this is my oldest one. How old is it? I don't know. This one's old too. How old is it? I don't know.
Yeah. What's that a stamp of? He's like, I have no idea. But it's fun, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, why do you collect them? I guess they're neat. I have a bunch.
It was fucking great. It's like, it was his favorite thing and he knew nothing about it.
And that was incredible because that's called hobbies.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the next day he says, Wilson, I saw it. And he was like, the artist probably saw this fucked up looking house and then he just drew it into the book because he has no imagination.
Right.
You really think that comic books are real? Do you want to see my stamps?
Yes. Right.
Period.
Great. That makes sense. That Like maybe the artist did see the building and then drew it in the book, right? What else could it be?
Yeah, Skipper buys it right away. He's like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
I should have thought of that.
That's the most logical explanation, I guess. Unfortunately, that's not the case.
No.
It's just
It's more sinister than that.
It's way more sinister. Good call. It's quite insidious.
That's actually, you could basically end every chapter of an R.L. Stine book with just like, that's his idea. It's just like, this is something you would know as a child. But is it more sinister than you expected? Most of the time, no.
Yeah.
But this time, he's like, I gotta check this shit out.
Yeah.
He goes back, house is gone.
It's gone, baby. So he's like, Libby, isn't there a building there? And they're like, she's like, oh, they must have knocked it down yesterday. Anyway,
yeah.
Come see my fucking dickhead and fart knocker comic.
Which, this is a weird thing because he goes to her house and sees them, right?
He does. He's too distracted, so he says yes.
I wrote that down. I don't want to... Can we jump over, like...
Of course.
Oh,
okay,
please.
yeah.
Skip as much plot as you'd like.
Okay,
Yeah.
so...
Be Skipper.
So she's the bad guy, okay? He goes to her house. So did she like fucking make up a family and a house and a comic collection? Or what?
A fair point.
I thought of that and I wrote that down. Because he takes the form of a little girl, but then he goes to her house, right?
Right.
He does, yeah.
And he sees her possessions.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing her parents were there. I don't know, but
They didn't talk about it. Yeah, the only way you could possibly rationalize this is like...
just go to someone's house
Yeah, go to someone's
that
house.
owns these comics.
Yeah, right.
I read the prequel.
So specific.
I read the prequel that's just called it's just of the mutant. He was like before he attacked. And it's about a mutant.
Regarding
He's
mutant.
in the comics, but he wants to read just some like nice teenage fun.
Yeah,
Right.
Archie.
So he wants to read Archie. So he buys all these Archie comics, and then Galloping Gazelle's going to make fun of him.
Right.
So what he does is he goes to some little girl's house, murders her family,
Fair.
so that he can store his
Puts
comics
his
there.
comics in her bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's cool.
And also, he just wanted to feel like what it would be to be a little girl, which is problematic. But he's a good guy. Every time he has to pee, he turns the light off.
Hey, that's
He's
great.
like, I'm not looking. That's what it says in the book.
You're just reporting the facts.
This is the plot to the other book. It wasn't a Goosebumps book, so that's why we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to do that one.
All right.
So I
Dave
put-
wrote that fan fiction.
Find me on DeviantArt. HarryBigButts.org.
.org. HarryStyles.org. Please remember that's our
Remember
website.
that. That is, yeah.
Also, Skipper talks about how he's read every comic book, but also says he doesn't read them because he can't touch them.
Yes.
That's right.
That was just another thing. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Pre-Wikipedia, too.
Well, he has like these gloves, and he's like, "These are my Jack gloves,"
Yeah.
and he takes them out to A Jack and B
Yeah.
read comics post Jack.
Post Jack.
That's right. Yeah, he watches like late night E Network Howard Stern,
Oh, yeah.
like blur out the boobies,
Oh, yeah.
and also scrambled porn.
I used to love that shit.
Yep,
Yeah, you remember Comedy Central? Late at night, they would be like, Girls Gone Wild commercial.
that's
Yep,
right.
Yep, for
It
like an
was-
hour.
Yep,
And it was like, it was longer than the show.
Yeah.
yeah, it was.
They'd be like, yeah, you're watching Half Baked, I guess.
Yeah,
If you're still up.
Yeah. Dave Attell is here. It's like so many times. Every time I see Dave Attell, my boner goes away now.
Yeah.
Programmed me. Poor guy.
Insomniac.
Yeah.
I met him. I ran into him on the streets of Boston. I was there for a concert with my buddy, and I saw this guy smoking a cigarette, like leaning against a building, and I was like, "That's David Tell." I was like, "Hey, Dave." He's like, "Hey, guy." That was it, but yeah,
Were you like, where are all the titties?
yeah.
Go away so I can see the
Why are you
blurry
up-
boobs.
Wow, I've never had less of an opinion on anyone than I do about Dave Attell. I just don't give a shit about it.
I mean, I watched that show a lot when I was a kid.
It was kind of
Yeah.
a cool
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
They just buried it. Like, they didn't want you to watch it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It wasn't raunchy, right? Like I don't, because
it was like his comedy, I guess, was a little.
but they
but
censored
not.
it. I don't remember.
Like, he would go to a bar, and they'd be like, this is a strip club
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
it's a cowboy
And he'd be like,
theme.
you know what I love about titties? I love that they're soft.
yeah.
And, I smoke them with my cigarette, and I fucking jack off in my own eyes.
Look at the hat I'm wearing. Good night, everyone.
Tune in next week.
Yeah. So, he goes and he's like, the house is gone. Goes back home. His mom's like, we got a new comic in the mail. Which I guess he had the direct order thing, even though he goes to the comic shop. Whatever.
That's right.
The kid's really into it. And he reads the comic, and Masked Mutant himself says that there's an invisibility curtain.
That's right. Around the building. So he says, that must be it. That's why I can't see the building. It's invisible. So he goes back, and Libby's there for some reason, and they both go through it, and there's the building, and they can't believe it. Except they can. They really react. It's really underwhelming, like the reaction they have to it.
She's like, well, I believe you now, but can we leave? And he's like, no. And she's like, all right.
Yeah. So they go in, they take the elevator down, even though they hit up, and they can't get out of the basement. It's really scary down there. They go back up. I'm so bored with this fucking plot.
Me too. Here, look, there's my notes. Just power on.
Oh my God. You took so much
You got a lot.
good notes.
It's because every time I can only read like 5 pages at a time, and then I just stop. So,
but they decide to leave after they scare each other. Although down there, he sees like himself in the comic that's drawn down. He decides it must be like the headquarters for the comic publisher, which is a rational decision.
yeah.
And but there's no one around. And then he also sees a boy who looks remarkably like him in there. He asks Libby to take a look, and she's like, "You're a fucking idiot virgin." And then they both leave.
Fat.
You're fat. You're stupid. You're ugly. No one will love you.
It went a little far when she spit into his mouth.
Yeah, and then said, "By the way, I have Hep C."
Yeah. I would have done the same.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But then he's home and he's like nervous. What else? I don't know.
Yeah, what happens then?
He dies.
So he gets the new
nervousness.
All right. So, oh yeah, he says that he finds himself in the art exactly where he was, and it's like videos of him or it's like pictures of him like running, flexing, and dying.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and it's like they.
Yeah.
The comic establishes him as the new foe for the Masked Mutant.
And the next day he gets the new comic, which this is a weekly schedule comic.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
So they get that, and he goes home. He's really excited to read it because he tries to run upstairs, but thank God we get a break from this bullshit plot because our boy Wilson was waiting at the door for him.
That's right.
And he's like, "Hey, dude, I brought those stamps like you asked,"
That's right.
which he never asked.
His second and final appearance, I think, in the book.
Pretty much. And he's like, "This one's a cow. I didn't bring any of my other cows because I figured I just needed one cow."
Mm-hmm. And he says, "Wilson, you're fucking beautiful. You look so fucking good."
And then I think is that the point where Skipper gets naked and he just
skips.
he he lays down and he puts the ink pads on each nipple.
That's right.
And he says,
Oh, yeah.
"Stamp me."
Well, yes. And then in the next scene, the ink is his jizz, right?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Possibly.
It's alluded to.
That's right.
Symbolism.
Yeah,
Literature.
yeah. Or else
I've
it is.
heard of Hemingway.
I think in the comics at some point, probably earlier, they said like the galloping gazelle is there and he's trapped.
Oh, that's right.
He reads it and he's like, nobody could save the galloping gazelle, but this fat boy. Did we mention that he's fat?
Yeah.
He's fat. They
RL
really
dunks on this little child.
Yeah.
A lot.
He's like, this kid is fat and I'm not, so fuck him.
That's right.
I invented him and I fucking hate this
His
kid.
friend Wilson is a fucking sleek motherfucker. Looks like Brad fucking Pitt.
Yeah.
And then Jonah Hill wobbles in and like fucking chops his own dick off with his ice skate.
Robert Zemeckis.
That's right. You guys take it from here. I'm going to play with your cat. Come here, chainsaw.
So he goes back, he finds the gazelle, and it's like 3 pages of him just describing how muscular he is and how they move and how he likes how his muscles are. It's very awkward. Then they're like, hey, this is the Masked Mutant's house. We should probably kill him. So they do like a super fast run. He like drags him to his office.
Yep.
Which I was like, if I was a supervillain, like what office needs what I have? Would I sit there and just like sit in my office and like file all of my deeds?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what he does in there. It's probably his Jack Shack.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, we learned it is from the TV show, which we watched before this.
Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Which is
That sucked too.
as we established.
Yeah.
Nick, what was your favorite part of his office?
The stains.
It's probably Steve Carell. Is my favorite part.
Oh yeah.
And Jim was always like,
Yeah.
for the listeners, I'm pouting.
He's doing a face.
I love Pam. I'm so horny for Pam. Dwight.
We're so done with this episode. And how far are we?
We have recorded 100 minutes.
Are you serious?
No.
100 minutes.
No, we're probably like 45 minutes.
Right.
I'm going to check. I'd be so amazed to check the timestamp and see what
too
this
much.
actually is.
It's still too much.
Yeah, it is.
This book fucking sucks, guys.
Nothing happens. Okay. They're in the office.
A lot happens in the last 3 pages.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to blow through. I got this. So he's like, all right, we got to kill him. So they go to the office. Turns out Masked Magician. Masked Magician. That's a Yu-Gi-Oh card, I'm pretty sure. What is the Masked Magician? Oh no, that's that 90s. Do you remember that?
Oh god, yeah. Like the magician's code.
Yeah, who he broke the magician's code so he could teach you. So anyway, that man.
Yeah.
Turns out he can
sucked too.
Yeah, he did. He can change his fucking molecules to be whatever he wants.
That's right.
So he becomes a chair and then he scares them. But then the gazelle is like, well, I'll run in circles and turn him into a tornado until he dies.
Yeah.
Not a good plan.
Right.
He gets tripped. And
that's right.
That was
unfortunately
that foiled the plan.
Yeah. His only weakness.
Yeah, tripping.
And then
he's too embarrassed.
Yeah, he leaves.
Yeah,
he gets tripped and he leaves the kid.
Which, to be fair, I understand. I was talking to my therapist about this.
Go on.
I live in constant embarrassment after every interaction I have. I just feel overexposed all the time. I want to retreat from everyone, so they kind of forget I exist and then come back. So I just don't. It's just too much. So I get it.
Yeah, so you're like a galloping gazelle.
I am like a gazelle.
So he just leaves. He's
exposed.
Because the whole thing is that Masked Mutant literally says, I am going to kill this fat little boy.
That's right.
So Gazelle's like, I can make tornadoes. But then when he fails by just tripping, he's like, kill the fat little boy. I don't give a fuck.
What I thought was weird was the gazelle wanted to kill the fat one, but wanted to marry Wilson. Which I thought was strange. He was just like...
He didn't even meet Wilson. He just heard about him.
I know.
And he's like, oh, he sounds fucking hot.
Yeah. Your friend Wilson. Seeing anybody?
Yeah. He's like, go back to that Stamps boy?
Yeah. And he fakes an interest in Stamps to get in his good graces.
Yeah.
Isn't that
we've
weird?
all done that.
You mean that one aisle in Michael's? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Huh. I'm a big Joann's man myself.
Oh, Joann's Fabric.
That's right. I don't like Hobby Lobby because they don't like women's rights.
Yeah.
Other than that, I like craft stores. Dave, what happens next?
Skip says that he has no powers because the whole time Masked Mutant is like, what powers do you have? And he's like, I got none.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably hiding them. He's like, I'm 12. I'm
fat.
At one point, he's like, well, what are you going to do? So this was the craziest chapter. I feel like this was the weirdest plot point to add. And it's very forgettable. He finds a big metal ball on a bookshelf. And he lifts it above his head.
Oh, wow.
And he hurls it at the Masked Mutant and misses.
Yeah.
But that's supposed to be our oh man, that was his final shot, throwing that one medicine ball at this man.
Yeah.
But nothing comes of that, right?
No, because then he just grabs the fucking Masked Mutant grabs the boy, does an arm stretch, and just decides to raise him up to the top of the room and choke him to death.
That's right.
He says he's gonna drop him and kill him, but how high is the ceiling?
I mean, 9 feet maybe. Tops.
Well, the boy is fat, so I imagine with gravity he'll probably fall harder than the normal boy.
That's true. He'll rocket down through each floor like a cartoon.
Or maybe he's just so lazy that he'll just lay there and die.
Yeah, just slowly die.
Yeah.
But then Libby shows up, and Libby has read It by Stephen King. Mm-hmm. So she pulls out her fake plastic gun, and she's like, this is battery acid slime.
Yeah. Inhaler.
Yeah. And she does a fake, this is actually a gun for melting bad guys, and melts the Masked Mutant, and he dies.
Yeah.
What a good feeling.
So I forgot about all this because we just watched the TV episode. And
Yes.
This didn't happen.
All right, you take it from here then. You got this.
Nick,
No.
We're going to leave a room.
Yeah. You're going to go through the rest of this.
No. So yeah, I forgot that happened. What? Explain. Go on.
That's it. And then he's just like, wow, you killed him. That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
he's
it's like-
well, maybe.
This is the
Yeah.
twist.
It was like, oh, that was my friend.
Right.
That was my friend villain.
My
that
henchman
poses
friend.
as me sometimes.
That's right.
He's
Yeah.
like, well, why'd you kill him? And he's like, because I'm a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't give a shit about my expendable
God.
friends.
Yeah, that was forced and stupid. And yeah.
Yeah, although this was, as we said, this is a better ending than some of the other books.
By better than 2 of the books.
By a small margin, yes.
But also, this ending, he worked so hard to build this world.
Yeah.
And then this ending is literally 1 chapter.
Yeah, 1 page.
Which is more, I mean, more than we've gotten in the past. Like,
Yeah.
before it's
Yeah.
been, like, a half a page. Like,
Yeah, it's like, turns out he was a ghost. Everyone's actually alive, though. And everyone's
Yeah.
happy. The end.
like halfway through the last chapter, he'll twist it. And it's like, you don't have enough space for this.
Yeah.
But he does it anyway.
Because when I read this was the first Goosebumps book I've read since like 1999.
This is huge.
Yeah.
This is what we want in this podcast.
Yeah.
Namaste.
So
Yeah, we want to share our pain.
That's right.
so when I read this, I was like, maybe they all sucked, you know?
There's
Yeah.
some good ones.
But-
I mean, they, in a way they did, but also we were small.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, my mom for October, the kids, so we sent them Goosebumps to the class because my original Goosebumps, some were gone with like a mold thing that happened at the school.
Yeah.
So we sent them some of like the classics for Halloween. And they were fighting over them, so my mom's like they do some like reading to the class while they're doing stuff. She's like, what should I read? So she read Ghost Beach to her
awesome.
class.
That one
which
was good.
I'd say it's probably the best book we've read so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's good stuff, but
I think if, like, when I read this, I probably loved it. Like, I thought that when I was reading it, I was like, you know, if I was 12, I would probably be into this mostly. Or actually, I read this when I was younger than 12, so whatever. But the age range for this, what? It's like 5 to 12, would you say?
Something. Yeah.
I remember redrawing this cover because it hit it was just the Venn diagram of comic books and Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit right in the middle.
Yeah.
We didn't even finish the plot because it's so insane. Because basically, Skipper says, I am a comic book. I decided I forgot now. And I am made of plastic and you can't beat me. So the Masked Mutant's like, well, how can I beat you?
Yeah.
And he says, you could, yeah, Chainsaw, I agree. It's bullshit. And it's like, you can become sulfuric acid
Right.
and beat me.
That's right. That's my only weakness is acid.
But like the masked Mutant
Masked
Masked Mutant
Magician.
forgets that when he turns into a liquid, he dies. So he just dies.
Yeah, it just turns into a liquid because he's forgetful. And then he passes away.
You could have just said like water, you know?
Yeah,
Turn
right.
into, my one weakness is water.
That's right.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have mattered. That was
doesn't
ridiculous.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing matters.
Nothing.
Nothing matters anymore after reading this book.
Nick the Nihilist.
That's what they call me.
Yeah, and then the last chapter is like he cuts his hand accidentally because he's a fucking idiot.
I think he was attempting suicide
Maybe.
because
Yeah.
he realized that his entire life was to acquire comic books, and the futility of it was
He too
apparent.
found nihilism.
Yes,
That's
he did.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was reading a lot of Nietzsche and Kafka.
Yep.
And Sartre, French authors, philosophers. And whatever. He cuts his hand. He bleeds ink. Who gives a shit? The end.
A cat just exploded.
Chainsaw. I'm so sorry.
Matt just clapped, and my cat jumped like 2 feet out of a window in the air and fell.
And
so
he's
sorry.
right back in the window.
It was very funny though.
Oh, you poor baby.
No, it's funny for us, so I like it. Yeah, but it's insane because literally, he spends more time explaining how him and Mitzi played frisbee
Yeah.
and went to get cake than the whole ending. Like the Masked Mutant was just like, oh yeah, you forgot he's fucking dead.
Mm-hmm.
But we used to play a lot of frisbee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you there that time I got a real bad concussion playing frisbee?
It's one of those memories that I'm not sure if I was there or if I just remember hearing about it.
It was during lunchtime.
I don't think I was there, but I remember hearing about it like the next period.
It was an interesting time. I looked down at my page in class, and like all the letters were rising off of it towards my face. And I raised my hand to go to the nurse, and I couldn't speak anymore.
Yeah.
It was a weird experience.
Sounds good.
Then Kevin Burke brought me to the nurse's office.
Oh, what a guy.
He's a good guy. He's got a good podcast, apparently.
Yeah?
A real good one, yeah. What is it called?
Goosebumps?
No, it's all about America. It's not called American Idiot because that's...
Green Day.
That's a Green Day song.
I'm going to figure it out because I want to plug them because he has like a lot of celebrities on it and stuff, and it's him and his
Really?
dad who's like a really good guy. And I know his it's like something he does with his family, and it's awesome. So
Wake Me Up When September Ends? Is that what
that's actually what it's
That's the
called.
one.
That's it.
Jesus of Suburbia.
That's
American Loser.
Oh.
Ah.
It's called American Loser. If you guys want to look it up, it's all about American history, and it's just different people making fun of American history and telling stories. So check that out. Somebody we knew from high school.
Yeah, Kevin Burke, make sure you Venmo us.
Stand-up comedian. Look up some of his stuff. Very funny.
Really?
I looked up something recently. I watched one of his, and it was about how heroin's never solved anything, but one of his high school bullies overdosed of heroin. So actually, heroin is winning the fight against bullying.
It solved one thing.
It did.
Sad.
Sad.
But funny. All right, so that's the end of the book. I said the last line blows.
He
That's
bleeds
how I
ink.
ended
Yeah,
it.
did we say that? He bleeds ink.
He bleeds ink, yeah.
Oh yeah, he bleeds ink and he realizes that. But the final line in the book, what did I hate so much about it?
It has an exclamation point.
Ink.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
this. It says, "Cool," Mitzi cried. "Where's the new Masked Mutant comic?" I asked. I suddenly had the feeling that my comic book career wasn't over.
Exclamation point.
Yeah, that sucked. And there is all caps ink exclamation point.
It's bad.
Fuck this book.
And yeah, his sister says cool.
If I sliced my hand open and my brother said "cool," then I don't know,
Yeah.
slap him across the face maybe with my blood.
We're never playing frisbee again.
We're never playing frisbee
Yeah.
again. Yeah.
Nick, you're our guest. We'll begin with you. What did you like about this book? What's the good?
I don't know. I have
Good answer. That's a good answer.
I have a few examples of good writing, but I don't even know if it's like worth finding.
You can just tell us.
It was a
what
lot
is.
of bad. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this is my first Goosebumps book reading since I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if my childhood was a lie or or if I'm just an adult. And
It was just
hate things now. But
yeah.
yeah. I liked. The ending isn't terrible. It's delivered terribly.
Yes, it is. No, it's
You know what I
true.
mean?
I
Like the twist, they all have twists. Obviously, that's like
That's his thing.
that's the butter,
yeah.
right? But yeah, I just thought it was very rushed. I'm not sure what the process was of writing it.
It's probably like, he ran out of blow and
Yeah.
Yeah.
fuck it.
I mean, yeah. Just
The publisher is calling him nonstop.
yeah. The process was like, when is my paycheck
Well,
coming?
we also
Yeah.
said this was at the 1 a month point. He's
Yeah.
going 1 book a month.
Yeah.
That's tough for anybody.
But also, I think, this book, if he had time on it and repaced it, like if he just made the beginning the rush part and then actually went through beats for the finale and made the tricking of the Masked Mutant an actual trick.
Yeah.
And not just like, that's like me being like, Dave, how do I kill you? And I'm just like, yeah, you got to shoot yourself with this gun and I'll explode. And they're like, shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. That was strange.
Yeah.
He's like, tell me your weakness.
Yeah.
I want to make it easier on you. I was like, okay. And then he's just like, no, liquid is my weakness. And he's like, oh yeah, forgetting that was his weakness as well.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nonsensical.
Yep.
But would you, anything good?
Go ahead.
I
You
basically
got
just said I liked the comic intro about all the stuff with the comic books, about how, like, do you read them? He's like, you can't read them.
Yeah.
Because this was the 90s when people were idolizing the artists and they weren't even reading the books inside. You would basically buy a case of the Liefeld book just to put aside because it was going to pay for your house.
Yeah. Buying multiple copies of things. Yeah.
And that paid off rarely.
Yeah, well, especially in the 90s.
Basically now, the only time that paid off if you bought New Mutants 98 and have like a case of the first
Cable.
appearance of Deadpool.
Cable
Or,
and
like,
Deadpool,
Cable, yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah. Because you can get like Spawn #1 for like $2.
Now it's 5.
Is it? Oh,
It's moving
shit.
up because he just beat Cerebus for longest indie comic.
Oh wow.
But there's little lines I liked, like when he's going to the dentist, he says, my braces are comfortable. He has to tighten them so they'll hurt again. That's
Yeah,
why
that's
he's
funny.
going.
There you
like
go.
that was fun. I loved the lines about anything with Wilson in this book.
Yeah.
That kid's just a fucking treasure.
Great volleyball.
Just like he says, rubber stamps? Yeah, I have about 100 of them, he said. What can you do with rubber stamps? I asked. He dropped the comic back into the cart and stood up. Well, you can stamp things with them, he said, brushing off the knees of his jeans. I have different color ink pads, or you can just look at them. He is definitely weird. Are they valuable? I asked. He shook his head. I don't think so.
Yeah. And then at one point in the book, he denounces his collection and his hobby, right?
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't like it anymore. It's too much time. he just says that.
It's so good because he put
And that's the last time you see him. Like,
he puts no time into stamps.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, I could take it or leave it.
Wilson is living his best life. He's like, I like this. No, I don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in the TV episode, we have to mention,
Yes.
it was rocks, not stamps that he collected.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
So
He had
this
a backpack of
kids
rocks.
walking around with, a pocket full of rocks.
But the cool thing too is he doesn't even say like, well, this is a geode. It's
No,
like,
he's like, this one looked like a duck last night.
Yeah, in the TV show, Wilson's like maybe an idiot.
Yeah.
But
he
that's
looks.
all right.
We were saying he looks like his character trait, like his class. If it was a Dungeons and Dragons, he picked the Minkus line.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. He was Minkus-esque.
He was a lawful good Minkus. Yeah, so I liked Minkus. And then I also like the detail where they asked to trade lunches because they don't want to have their tuna sandwiches,
Yep.
but they both have tuna sandwiches.
Yep.
And Wilson, fucking sweetheart, is just like, you want to trade anyway? And he's like, yeah, okay.
And then Skipper was like, yeah, yours is better.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Because the grass is always greener on the other side.
that's right.
And
It's
the tuna,
because
too.
Wilson just understands life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I have. That's literally it. That's all I have. That's good.
All right, let's
got
break this
anything?
out. Yeah.
You have anything? I like I said, I had to read this in PDF file, so I just have chapters because there's no pages on PDF,
Yeah.
and then I just have like what word it started with, and what it ended with.
Well, Nick, check this shit out.
Yeah, let's go. What
Page
chapter?
18.
Chapter. Give me a chapter.
Whoops. You're a loss. Chapter 5 in Nick speak.
All right. We're
Bottom of page 18. For others, it says, she stared past me out the window. The bus stopped for a red light. A baby started crying in the back. Where are you going? Libby asked me. Home. I like that he mentioned the baby crying in the back because he didn't have to do that. I think it builds the atmosphere and the environment.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a nugget of this like rare description in RL books that is actually good from a storytelling standpoint,
Yeah.
it's like fucking stop the presses, write it down, and really latch onto that shit and praise it, and you're good.
Yep.
Especially because for a while I found no good in this book.
All of my good for this book, literally, it made it to page 27 with my good. The first 3 that I liked are before page 3.
Page 35 for Nick, chapter 8.
All right. We're there.
Nice.
I'm there.
It says, I called hi to my mom, tossed my coat on the heavy backpack onto the floor, probably rocks in it, and raced up to my stairs to my room, the comic book gripped tightly in my hot little hand.
Ooh.
I like that a lot.
You should play poker. He's got a hot hand.
My hot little hands. I say that all the time to Dave when we're hanging out.
Yeah.
We're like
I
at
feel my hot
Chipotle.
little- yeah.
And he's like, hey dude, how do you like your Chipotle? And I'm like, this fork feels so good in my hot little hand. This burrito is so warm in my hot little hand. I always call everything I have little, except for my dick, which is even smaller than little.
Yeah.
It's
My
microscopic.
microscopic genital.
It never satisfies my wife ever. Page
I'm
66.
sorry I giggled. I was like, hey.
I liked it.
Man.
Page 66, chapter 16.
Okay.
Nick's like, yes. Uh-huh.
The only thing good about this book is how much we've drank so far.
Yeah. I'm like riding high on these 8%ers. It's really getting me going.
Good Foley work.
That's right. You guys want a soda now, don't you?
That's what we're drinking.
I'm drinking Jolt. Balls.
Jasta for me.
Ooh.
It's Wilson time.
Okay.
And he says, this one is a ladybug, he said, holding up a small wooden stamp. It's very old. It's the oldest one I own. Here, I'll show it to you. He opened a blue ink pad, stamped the ladybug on it, and pressed it onto the top of a pad of paper I had on the desk. How old is it? I asked him. I don't know, he replied.
Yeah.
He held up another one. It's a cow, he said, as if I couldn't tell. Kind of a weird dig at his friend. He stamped it onto the pad. I have several cows, Wilson said, but I only brought one. I studied the cow, pretending to be interested. It's another really old one, Wilson said. How old? I asked. He shrugged. Beats me. He reached for another stamp. It goes on like this. Wilson doesn't know shit about stamps.
This
but
is
it's
how
his
they hang
favorite
out.
thing on earth.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
But he could also, like, it's his favorite thing, but he could take it or leave it because
For
he's
sure.
12.
Yeah.
And he leaves it.
That's right. Yeah.
A page
He's
later.
always like, Skipper, you can't take it with you. He's very existential.
Wherever you go, that's
page,
where you are.
Page 70. That's right. I had an old therapist recommend that book to me. You know what I did? Started to read it. I stopped.
I mean, speaking of your therapist, aren't we all just stamps pressed into ink and then put onto other people's pads on their desk?
Goddamn. Yeah, I do love pads. And tampons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I relate.
You got me.
Nick, you mentioned this.
Did I?
Wilson stopped mentioning and like participating in stamps at a
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
point. So it says, his expression turned serious. I'm not collecting rubber stamps anymore, he said. I gave it up. I couldn't hide my surprise. Huh? How come? They took up too much of my time, he replied. The bus pulled up to the curb, the door opened. See you later,
Yeah.
I told Wilson. It's good.
I don't think he ever sees him later.
No, it's the
That's
last
it.
time he appears.
That's it. He died.
Well, he thinks
died.
about him. Yeah, but he does think about his memory as he jerks off with his hot little hands.
Makes it easier.
And
if
then
your hands
that's
are
right.
hot
Yeah.
and little.
Page it is hot and little. Hot and little. Little Caesars pizza.
So basically, the good is just like the Wilson hour.
It is, except for. I wrote this in the wrong spot. This is from bad. Okay, never mind.
Fake out.
Nick, what don't you like about this book?
So I have down that Wilson was good, but also useless and
Yes,
underused.
correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And then we already spoke about it, but like when he goes to Libby's house, now that we all know the ending, like,
Yeah.
what the fuck was that?
Exactly.
It's a good point.
She had a house and she had possessions, but
Right.
she was just a guy. Say dressed up as a girl.
Which would have made the book way creepier.
They look exactly the same. But he has a red wig on.
Yeah.
Even better, it's just him in his superhero costume with a dress over
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
I like to. Doesn't he say like she was a good-looking girl at one point too?
The mutant.
Yeah, doesn't
Maybe.
Doesn't fucking Skips say like, oh, good-looking redheaded dame?
She seemed cute
I
from
think
what
so,
I
yeah.
from what I gathered.
I think he does say that, but then he also acknowledges that he cut his dick off with an ice skate
to fuck a volleyball.
to shove into Wilson.
All in the love of FedEx.
That's right. Wilson!
I have Sponge Life. I have Sponge Life down as bad
Sponge
Oh yeah,
Life.
because we didn't speak about him yet.
I just thought like how close you were to SpongeBob, but
Who didn't exist yet?
who didn't
is
exist
pre-
yet,
this is
right?
pre-SpongeBob.
And this is an intellectual property that would have gotten you millions, and you're so close, and yet you made it so stupid.
I'm gonna say no because, as we know, Shrek didn't make it.
That's right.
Yeah,
Shrek sheep.
he was predicting everything in this
God,
This
I
year.
fucking love
Sponge Life, and it was one word. It was Sponge Life.
It was right.
capital S, capital L.
Capital L.
I don't know what the fuck. That's I don't know why. What is that?
Hey, I hear 2020 is the year they'll reboot Austin Powers. Are you guys excited?
Are you serious?
I am serious.
Is that real? That's
No, you're lying.
I'm being for real.
No, you're lying.
I heard Mighty Ducks is happening.
Is
You guys
it?
heard about that?
You know what's cool?
I don't need that. The Craft is happening. Don't need that.
Well, the only thing that was cool is that the Mighty Ducks had the anniversary last year.
Yeah.
And I went to the Islanders Ducks game where they had the original cast dress up and they skated around and they were hanging
That's
out.
cool.
I watched the video on YouTube.
It was
or
cool.
whatever.
It was
Yeah.
cool. Anyway, when are they rebooting this book?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Let's call Adam West. Wait a minute.
I'll get out the Ouija board. We need you in the MCU.
Yeah.
Massive crap universe. Got him.
Got him. Fuck you, Kevin Feige. What else did you like?
I've got some.
Not like.
Let's find some.
Or not
I don't know.
like, sorry.
Not like?
Well, it's up to you.
Plenty of
Whatever
that.
you got. Whatever you got.
That's what I meant.
Well,
was not
okay,
like.
so I wrote down bad. Chapter 23.
Yeah.
When you said the thing with the stone or whatever, he raises the...
Yeah.
Was it he or
It's
she?
just like
Which one?
It's Skip. He is like, I found a big ball.
Yeah, it goes... So RL writes, like, stone, but then it's not a stone, and then he calls it a stone again, like, in the same
Right,
sentence.
it's like a metal ball.
Yeah, and I don't know. I wrote that down because that threw me off.
Yeah.
That's-
Chapter 23, that must have been like page 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you ever like working on homework and then like your friends were hanging out outside and you had to finish it up real fast?
Mm-hmm.
Or like you're at college and you're working on this paper, but like, yeah, there's a party tonight, and you're like, and then fucking the end.
Yeah.
R.L. Stein was probably like, we're having a key party at a
Yeah.
friend's house.
Yep.
We're all gonna fuck in this crazy orgy, and he's just like telling us sulfuric acid. Everything's fine. He picked up a stone. That was a ball. That was a stone. The
yeah.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like that. That's what I pictured.
Yeah,
And that's how it read.
it did. And the thing is, you can't really blame him because when we saw him live, his whole thing was like, it's a kid's book. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, that's true. It's a paycheck for him. That's fine. I still like it.
Yeah.
May have learned how much it costs for him to show up somewhere recently.
Oh, that's true.
I don't want to announce that yet.
Inside info.
Oh.
Don't blow up his spot.
I don't want to blow up his spot, but
But it's selfish.
anything else bad? Anything else bad?
Bad. I don't know. I have good, but I just need to find. You know, like I said.
Oh yeah, where it is.
Yeah.
I can fill you with some bad while you're looking for your
Yeah,
good.
go ahead.
Hit up the bad, Dave.
Yeah.
On page 2, he said that Wilson's favorite word is cool, and he says it all the time. And I'm like,
Right.
that's every 90s child. That's like saying your favorite word is like the like cool. Oh, that's cool. He's
I
like,
say-
yeah, he'll say
yeah.
it a lot.
I say the a lot.
Me too. Every now and then I say
That's
and.
the first thing I noticed about you, Nick.
Everyone always says, Matt, why do you say jizz so much?
Yeah, and I'm like, shut up before I come.
And then this was something that I like the detail of what it became, but I thought it was the best thing ever when Wilson, our boy, says, whoa, this cover is metal.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, whoa, I
Yeah.
say that.
That's
and then
cool.
No, but the cover was literally like
Yeah.
a foil cover.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
made out of
Because
metal.
I thought that as well. I was like, oh, is Megadeth on it? Or
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, it's
It's
the
literally-
90s.
Yeah.
They were making foil covers. Every
I want
day.
to say that Skipper is another person that is basically poster boy for fragile masculinity and gatekeeping. He says, I have a good sense of humor, but I don't like being laughed at by girls who collect High School Harry and Beanhead comics.
Yeah, what a piece of shit
Yeah.
metamist.
Yeah.
He also said, I was starting to feel calmer. My fears dropped away like feathers off the battling bird boy.
Okay.
I saw Birdman.
Yeah, but do you be like,
Have you seen Bird Boy?
you haven't? He's got to become a man somehow. I also said,
Zemeckis directed.
Oh, that's a Zemeckis
Bird
joint.
Boy.
Got it.
I
Got
also
it.
said that from the finding the gazelle to the end of the book was just bad.
Yeah.
And then also when he kills his friend, he just says, I'm a villain. I do bad things, remember?
Yep.
And then
That's
at
right.
one point in the show and there where he's like, you're a comic book. And he's like, no, I'm a real boy.
Yeah. Pinocchio all over that
Sucked
shit.
And I said the ending is so rushed and blows. That's in my notes.
I see it in
I
your
wrote
notes.
it in my notes.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
We're sharing a microphone, almost kissing. I can see it.
It says it blows. You know why?
Close.
Because it blows.
I'm just going to run through my bad real quick, all right? Skipper, Mitzi, The names suck ass.
Yes.
Okay, page 16, we have a classic little did I know situation where it says, it ends, this is chapter 4, Nick.
Okay.
Ends with, I probably wouldn't have thanked him if I had known where this bus was going to take me, but I didn't know that it was carrying me to the most frightening adventure of my life.
Yeah.
We hate that shit empirically on the show.
Yeah.
Page 72. Do you have? So you have an OG copy
do,
right
yeah, we
there.
can
If
do
you
this.
could turn to page 72 for me, Nick. And you will see at the bottom of page 72.
Is that after page 71?
Wait, let me check. No. Yes.
Found it.
Yes, it is. Yes. Page 72, third to last line. Was it true?
Yeah.
Look at that giant fucking space. Do you have a giant space
Yes,
there?
I do.
It's wild, right?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Was it true?
So there's a
Question mark, and then
There's a
you
big
hit the
typo.
space bar six
Yeah.
times.
This is an error. I just like to call to attention the error. Was it true? Was I the only one who could save the Galloping Gazelle? But we like to point that out when there's like a big typo, and this was printed millions of times.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
figure it out, guys. That is about it for the bad. I was kind of over this book. Look, I thought it was real down the middle when I was reading it. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was like fine. Dave is taking a little pee-pee, so we're going to do some... I guess I couldn't have mentioned that, and we could have just volleyed back and forth, but I think honesty is the best policy.
Yes, that's what they say.
That's what they say.
When I read this book, like I said, it's been a long time since I read a Goosebump, and I was like confused in my head whether this was shit or whether everything was shit.
Yeah.
And then I like read reviews on YouTube and watched videos.
Did you really?
Yeah, everyone was like, "This is one of the best Goosebumps books, that they ever made." And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I hope not."
Can you figure out the names of those people so we can hit that little down thing?
That's right.
Yeah, we'll find them.
Downvote them.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe part of that's like just nostalgia.
I don't know.
I mean, it would have to.
They were grown men like holding the book saying like, "I recommend this."
Oh no,
This is
grown
one of-
men reading Goosebumps.
Yeah, one of
Is it too late to rename our podcast?
Oh shit. Yeah.
I'm 19. It's not that bad yet.
No, he wrote
Yeah.
this for 19-year-olds.
That's right. It's weird, but not
Says
as
it on
weird.
the back.
Yeah. Ages 1 to 19.
One.
I don't know. We're done with this episode, right? Bye.
We need to do the ending.
We have
Oh,
all
that's
the,
right. We have a segment.
Top spook and scare.
Top spook and scare.
Best
Nick,
dressed.
Do you have one?
Yeah,
Alternate title.
That's what we. Yeah.
Top spook and scare. Best dressed. Alternate title.
let me go look for because I have. Let me see. I have
Okay.
I have a scare.
Do the scare.
Yeah. Basically, it's just the reveal. All right, like when
Masked Mutant
what's her name?
reveals his nuts
Libby.
to Libby.
Yeah. When Libby transforms into the masked magician, as Dave likes to call him. Yeah.
I said that a bunch, right?
Yeah, a few times. So it's just like let me see.
Some shelf.
That's some shav.
She raised a plastic pistol and aimed it at me. "I'm sorry," she said, "because you're disappearing next." That's the end of the chapter, and I was like,
Wow.
"Oh shit!"
Wow.
Yeah.
Harrowing.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's about as scary as it gets in this book.
That's fair. That was
Yeah.
my thought too. I was like, nothing in here is
Yeah,
scary.
it's not scary. It's not a.
Yeah.
This didn't feel like a Goosebump book, in the sense of, I don't know. There wasn't scares.
Yeah, it was more like a
Right?
Twilight Zone-y ripoff.
Yeah.
kinda.
Yeah. It's like, what if comics?
He follows
Right.
it up when he's like, at first I thought Libby was joking. "Libby, put down the gun," I told her. "You have a sick sense of humor." She kept the plastic gun aimed at my chest. I let out a feeble laugh, and it just goes on.
Right.
It's just like
She killed me. and
Libby,
both
what's
my
your
parents.
problem? Yeah, and then she explains.
Well, that's why this only worked in the 90s, because 12-year-old middle school, elementary school kids nowadays have guns pointed at their chests all the time.
Yeah, it's normal.
Social commentary.
Started in the 90s though.
It did.
It did start in the 90s.
We were bowling for that Columbine and
And that soup.
Yes. That's because I'm the girl of bad guys. Come on. or whatever. Anyway, my top spook and scare was about swallowing hard. It was what Nick's read in the beginning.
Yeah?
I just thought about entering a building
Yeah.
that you're like, this is just an office building. Also, no, on second thought, fuck that. Because they went through, they found an invisible building and they're still trying to play it off like it's a normal building.
Right.
Yeah.
But imagine walking into a building and being like, should we be here? And you get to the elevator and over the loudspeaker, it's just someone like, hey, 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 hey.
Right.
Yeah.
At that point, I'd be like, this is Dr. Wiley's building. I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. That's fair.
Because that's weird that somebody sees you, knows you're there, and decides to be like, oh shit, that's them? Hit the is the speaker on? Let me do a laugh.
Let me do an evil laugh.
Just
And
because
they're like, yeah, we pressed up, but we went down. And then they ended up where? Like, in...
a basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was no way out, right?
No, because the elevator wouldn't even fucking work. It's
Yeah.
a bad elevator.
Yeah.
I have to write reviews on this too. This mutant guy might be good at making stuff, but not elevators for sure.
No. That's
For
true.
sure.
Keep the jobs in America. So my
Canada.
top
Canada.
spook and scare. Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay, since watching the episode, I can only imagine this book happens in Canada. now.
It should be every book, right?
Every book's in Canada.
Yeah.
Every book takes place in Canada. You hear that, J.D. Salinger?
Listen, RLL, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it's all in Canada.
Yep.
That's right.
About that.
That's
Yeah.
right. Give me your low fucking prescription prices, you assholes. My spook and scare is page 111, 112. And the Masked Mutant's like, hey, you remember that time a light passed over you? And little Timmy Skipper says, I nodded. Yes, I remember that. I muttered, well, that was a scanner. The Masked Mutant continued. When you stepped through it, it scanned your body. It turned you into tiny dots of ink. Page 112. It says, no, I shouted. He ignored my cry. That's all you are now, Skipper. Tiny dots of red, blue, and yellow ink. You're a comic book character, just like me. He slid toward me menacingly, opening my butthole. His cape spreading out behind him. But I'm sorry to say you've made your last appearance in my comic book, or any comic book. I did, out of everything in this book, I think it was scary because this is like his death. Like this is a disconnection from the reality you know.
Yeah.
And the finality of that to divorce you from everything. It's saying like, hey, everything you know, you can no longer attach yourself to. You're now something else. And basically you're going to just disappear now and no one will know you or remember you. That's the ultimate existential threat, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
I know I'm going to die and everything's going to continue on without me. And it's not going to be it's going to be nothing. Like, because of course, like I'm just going to disappear and everything's going to be fine. To me, that's the scariest part of death, and that's what is sort of told here in a different way. So I think that's the
Nick, you hear this nerd? He's afraid of death.
Pussy.
Pussy! Yeah, way to describe it intelligently, you pussy.
Yeah. Fucking nerd.
I ain't scared of nothing. I take mine back. Laugh as much as you want. I ain't never scared.
I ain't scared of nothing. Anyway,
Regarding that, so this was confusing to me because it's not explained, but so the Masked Mutant like is a comic book writer and like has like that's his studio. Like this is like a weird thing.
Yeah.
He finds pages and he's like, "No, you're a comic book."
right, I
now.
scanned you with my elaborate
Yeah, I
system.
scanned you and now you're in my story. I don't know.
It's weird.
They don't talk about that.
No.
And
He's
well,
a
how do you
villain
how do you
slash
feel
artist.
about that? Yeah,
It's
like-
crazy because I never thought about that.
Really?
Yeah, like I didn't think about the fact
He's-
that
Yeah, is he the like he's the writer?
He's producing his own comic about himself.
Yeah.
I guess to make sure he can buy these like dildo-shaped buildings, like you gotta
He's got to pay rent.
You gotta pay the dildo-shaped bills somehow.
right. Yeah. I
So
don't know.
He transforms Skipper into a comic book character so that he can
right.
continue. So is he mailing these comic books to his family's house? You know what I mean? Like-
Right. This seems to be both the headquarters for the comic book and the headquarters.
Exactly.
I was imagining that everybody's getting Skipper comics right now. Like everybody's getting it.
Yeah,
because
so that's another thing. Yeah.
this is like his get-rich-quick scheme. He's like, yeah, I'm evil, but I'm just gonna like write down. I'm autobiographying this.
Is
Yeah.
only Skipper getting these special edition comics that he mentions, like, that his mom gives him in brown
Yeah,
paper
brown
bags.
paper bags.
Well, no, that's actually how they used to send them, though. Like,
Yeah, but is everyone else getting
I
them
think
with
so.
him in
I
him?
think so.
I thought of it
because
that
the
way.
end is the Masked Mutant says he's running out of ideas and characters, which may just be
so
a
he's-
metaphor for RLS. Just being like, yeah, I'm out of ideas, and that's why he brings these kids this guy in to die. So, yeah, that does actually that makes me
He's the writer.
it makes me feel a little bit better that he's using machines to make the art.
Yeah, because remember he does say that too. That there's a printing press in the dildo building,
Yeah.
right? He's like, I recognize those.
We call it the dilding. Thank you very much.
The bildo. He's like, I recognize that. That's a printing press. So I don't know. It's confusing.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't that invented by Benjamin Franklin?
That's right. That was an Edison joint, wasn't it?
That's crazy.
Jersey, shout out.
In this building,
Yeah,
out of
Jersey.
everything, this building's ribbed for my pleasure.
Yeah. Did you gave your spook? We all spooked and scared, right?
Okay, we're
Yeah.
all gonna best. I don't even care how he's dressed. We all know who the best dressed is.
The best looking.
Best looking, the best of all.
See, you might be surprised. Go ahead. You go first. What do you got?
You're gonna say Wilson?
It's
Yes,
my
I
boy
know what you're
Wilson.
saying. Yeah.
It's my boy Wilson. All right, Nick. Sounds like you got somebody else. You're Wilson. Are you Team Wilson?
I'm not Wilson.
Oh,
Are you
see?
fucking kidding me?
So, do I go next or you?
Yeah, good, Nick. You got this.
Okay, let me find this. Okay, I went with Libby. Did you?
You're H for the L, huh?
Yeah. Okay, because RL does not mention a lot of clothing, but he does describe what she's wearing.
Horny.
Because I think they're all nude.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's weird when he says Skipper's nipples were darker than you'd expect.
His name is Nipper. Isn't
Yeah, milk dud-esque.
it?
Yeah, so he describes Libby like, plaid sweater, faded jeans, ripped at one knee,
Right.
classic 90s.
Yeah.
Her carrot orange hair, her green eyes, freckles, and I was like, okay, this is she sounds cute.
She does.
And he actually described what she was wearing, so I went with her with best dress.
Okay, that's
good,
fair.
that's good.
Yeah.
My guys, I had the gazelle.
Oh, God.
You know your boy likes the gazelle.
Yeah.
Page 84 for Nick.
Yep.
This is
I'm in there. I got the book. We're good.
chapter. I'm still going to tell you what chapter it is. Chapter 20, page 84.
All right.
Finally, one of the knots slid open. The galloping gazelle flexed his muscles and stretched out his powerful chest.
Oh, yeah.
And the ropes popped away easily. I just like that he flexed his little muscles and his boobies broke the rope.
So, yeah, and he needed Skipper to just witness that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, kid.
Also,
He's like, thanks, kid. Yeah, I couldn't do this alone.
I didn't write about this, but like there are chapters, full chapters in the
Yeah.
book of just Skipper staring at muscular men.
Yeah.
Like it was very
That's comic books for you.
yeah, but it's like the movie Predator.
Uh-huh.
The movie Predator is insane and
Yeah.
cool and action packed, but it's literally just a love letter to
Yeah.
muscles.
It's just like a playgirl
It
Sure.
is.
fantasy.
But this was written that way, and I don't know if it was just detail. I think it was on purpose. I think this is R.L. Stine dipping into the like Liefeld-esque comic world of that
Oh,
time
wow.
to the point where there are certain comic books, like there's the one iconic Liefeld page of Cable and Domino in a bath together.
Yeah.
And you see the scale of their muscles next to each other, and basically like Cable is so large and muscular that like Domino could just fit in his chest and like work him like a fucking plane. Like it's just
that.
Yeah.
everything was so muscular, and there were like people had 19 packs instead of 6 packs.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not even gonna find the pages of just like his muscles were this and blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
But actually, I changed what I wrote down. I had none. So after watching the episode, I was going to say it was Wilson, but TV Wilson, because he had a rock collection in there
Yes.
and was obsessed with rocks. And he was wearing a sweater
He had a Nirvana
throughout it.
cardigan.
He had a Nirvana cardigan, but it was a rock themed cardigan.
That's right. It had not a Nirvana. It had a rock patch on the
Yeah.
sleeve.
It just said
Boy
like
Scout
rocks.
style. Yeah, it said I'm rock hard.
Ask me about my boner.
That's right. That's what it's.
Can we make those shirts?
Yeah.
Calling out.
Oh,
creeps,
our
asking
first
about your
merch.
boners.
Actually, we have merch that we
have merch and
we
nobody-
haven't done anything with it.
we had them once.
Are you happy to see me, or is that a rock in your pocket?
Yeah. Is that the rock in your pocket?
Ooh, Dwayne.
That's right. Alternate title.
Yeah.
Nick.
I'm going first. All right, I have the misadventures of Swim Shirt Kid and Carrot Hair Girl.
It's good.
Because it's just
Swim shirt.
yeah.
More
'cause when I
accurate.
think of fat kids, I just think of swim shirts.
Yeah.
And he makes it a point to just say she has carrot hair over and over again.
Right. Yeah, he's a little slow.
So that
That's
was
my
it.
hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave.
The dangers of public transportation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This kid is always alone on a bus.
And then he got catfished.
He did get catfish.
Yeah.
He got catfished
He
by
did.
an old man who wanted to turn him to slime or some shit.
Yeah.
Fucking Max and Neve.
Did you think of one? Or is this off the dome?
This is off the dome. I'm gonna say the assed Putant. Assed instead of masked. Putant instead of mutant. Like poo, like shit.
Yeah. Again, you got more than that.
Anyway,
The attack of an ass of the.
ass of the Putin.
It's very Russian.
Yeah. It sounds like a Anastasia, right?
Yeah.
Rasputin.
Brass of the Putin. Task of the human.
All right.
Bootin.
We're there.
Bootin, New Jersey.
So this episode, I feel like normally we follow a plot all the way through.
uh-huh.
This one's like spin art.
It's a little off the
And
rails.
I love it.
But listen, you've been through worse,
I'm
frankly.
so excited
if you've
to
listened to
listen
this.
one.
Yeah.
So-
Anyway, Nick, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah.
Yeah, my butt.
First time we heard that.
First, this is great.
Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Very good. Well, it's been awesome. This has been a lot of fun. This was. I was gonna say it's been a lot of fun for like the least fun book.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
yes.
we made it work, right?
That's true.
We made it work.
I thought, yeah, I thought there were some previous ones that were like, all right, but they at least were cohesive.
Yeah. Cohesive in Cambria.
Oh, Claudio.
What?
I gotta pee.
I peed mid-episode. No one knew.
Oh, we told
tell him?
everybody.
You told them?
I spilled the beans.
I spilled the piss. I've been drinking a lot. By the way, mid-episode, I also ordered pizzas.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Thanks, Dave.
Hooray! This episode ended on a high note.
Papa Dave. Papa Dave.
Oh, I didn't order Papa John's.
He's my favorite racist.
Well, now Shaquille O'Neal owns that shit,
Oh, that's
so
right.
it's good.
Yep.
But I still don't order it. But anyway,
It's fine.
so like we say, what Nick says at the end of every episode.
Plug your buttholes.
And that'll do it for us. Goodbye. Have a great Thanksgiving. And tell your mom you love her. Bye, idiots.
Bye.